Well, the quest to change the multinational security support mission in Haiti from a UN-backed mission to a fully UN mission has received yet another opposition from Russia and China. Well, let me take you through a short summary of how the voting of this MSS mission has been since the beginning. Last year, at around October, there was a voting of whether to assent to this multinational security support mission in Haiti, because when a country needs to go to another country for a particular mission, more so peacekeeping mission, or to assist, you have to get the assent of the UN. And this, because it is a security matter, goes through the UNSC, and it has to go through voting. Now, in the UNSC, there are permanent and non-permanent members. There are 5 permanent members. That is Russia, China, UK, the US, and France. So these 5 permanent members have the veto power. If they don't assent to anything, it doesn't go through. Therefore, if one doesn't assent to anything, it doesn't go through. The other 10 members do not have the veto power. So whether they assent or not, the motion can still pass as long as the major 5 countries have agreed on a particular motion. So when this MSS mission, because it was spearheaded by the US, when it was tabled, of course, Kenya was present, Haiti was present because they were directly involved, as well as countries that represent other regions as the 10 non-permanent members and the 5 permanent members. When it was tabled, it got an assent. And how did they vote? The 2, Russia and China, abstained from the vote. At the UN, you can either say yes, abstain, or no. So when one of these 5 permanent members says no, that motion will not pass. But they abstained. That means that they didn't agree or disagree, they just were neutral about it. So the abstinence allowed the MSS to be deployed in Haiti. Well, it was not deployed just as soon because there had to be logistics done. You know, when Kenya wanted to have the courts agree that they can deploy and all the paperwork needed, and Haiti had to have a new government, there was a lot that had to be done so that this mission would be deployed in Haiti. And that happened on June 25th this year. Now, as we have seen since the deployment of this MSS mission, there have been a lot of challenges. And these challenges are the ones that now are warranting that there is a need for there to have a UN mission in Haiti, because there are not enough supplies and countries seem unwilling or slow to give their financial or troop support for this mission. So that is why Kenya and the US and the CARICOM community and the larger America, Organization of American States, gave the resolve that there is a need to have a UN mission in Haiti. But still, this has quite some opposition from Russia and China, as we saw on Wednesday, November 20th of 2024. The United States, in around September, brought this conversation that there is a need to change this mission from a UN-backed to a UN mission because of the supplies. Now, that was done outside the chambers of the UNSC, and the discussions just brought to the matter that China and Russia were not ready to accept that, and it did not feature in the resolution. That means that the US knew that even if it featured, these 2 countries will not assent and this will not pass. So they saw the best option is to just ask for another mandate for the MSS mission, and that mandate was tabled, and it was accepted that the MSS should go for another 1 year. Now, I think that was because the US did not know how the elections would go. They had some hope that perhaps a Democrat will still be in power so that they could continue to support this mission. But the elections did not go the Democrat way. Right now, the president-elect is President Trump, and that means something, that policies can change, policies can shift. The new administration of President Trump that is still forming has refused to comment on the Haitian matter. They are still looking at it. They are still figuring out how they are going to approach the Haitian matter. They have been approached by journalists, but they have not released a statement regarding the Haitian issue. Now, that has put everyone on edge, more so the Kenyan president, President Ruto, who has his troops in Haiti. And there are a lot of interests also from the CARICOM community of how these things will go, because if we let Haiti to remain the way it is, of course, the countries that are neighboring or nearing Haiti are going to feel the impact of what is happening in Haiti. So that is why everyone around there will want a UN mission in Haiti so that all this will stop. But there is a catch here. And the catch is that if Russia and China do not assent, then this mission is going nowhere. And just last week, now this is after the elections, just last week, the US tried again to approach the 15 members of the UNSC. They got the support from the majority, but still Russia and China did not agree. When President Biden went to the Asia Pacific Summit, he talked with President Xi. And one of the agendas of what he talked about was the Haitian mission, but President Xi did not agree to it. And Russia and China, after the lobbying of the US last week to many countries regarding this issue, Russia and China called for a meeting to clarify their position just yesterday. And that is the meeting that we are talking about today, that Russia and China have come out boldly to say that they will not support a UN mission in Haiti. And I'm going to read their statements that they submitted at the UNSC while speaking about this issue. Well, the Deputy Ambassador of China, Guangsheng, said the following, that peacekeeping operation will interfere and make it harder to tackle funding shortfall and police pledge. Peacekeepers should only be deployed when there is peace to keep and there is no peace in Haiti. He further went on to say that deploying a peacekeeping operation at this time is nothing more than putting peacekeepers into the front line of the battle with gangs. That is the statement from China. And you'll find that the statement that China gave is not very far from the statement that Russia gave to the UN. This is the statement of the Deputy Ambassador to the UN of Russia, that is Dmitry Polyansky. He said that the conditions on the ground in Haiti are not appropriate for a UN peacekeeping mission. Their role is to maintain peace and not to fight crime in urban areas or to save a dysfunctional state that has been plunged into domestic conflict. He went on to say that material funding and expertise are needed, but otherwise, quite simply, there will be just nobody left to host any future peacekeepers should this mission be changed to be a UN peacekeeping mission. So that is the statement from Russia. You can see both Russia and China are almost saying the same thing. Their statements are almost marrying because they are saying that there is no need to have a peacekeeping in Haiti right now because the environment does not grant a peacekeeping mission in Haiti. That when the UN peacekeeping force will get to Haiti, they will simply go into the front lines and battle the gangs, and that is not the mandate of the peacekeeping mission. A peacekeeping mission should stay in between two warring groups to maintain that buffer zone, that these two warring groups should not engage in war, that the warring groups should not hurt civilians. That is the message that Russia and China are giving to the UNSC, that these people are out here to fight the government of the day. They are actively fighting the government of the day. If we send our peacekeeping mission in Haiti right now, they are going to go into those neighborhoods to fight the gangs, and that will be the UN actively fighting the gangs. And they are saying that is not the mandate of the UN. The UN is supposed only to keep peace and maintain peace. And China went on and said that there is no peace in Haiti. Russia went on and said that Haiti is in a dysfunctional state. So those are the words that they have used to describe the situation in Haiti and to justify that there is no need to send a peacekeeping mission in Haiti. Well, the Kenya security advisor to the president, that is Monica Juma, also presented Kenya's view of this. Kenya said that there is a need to have supplies for the MSS. That is the first thing that Monica Juma said, that the MSS needs the supplies and they need the supply as soon as possible. Second, she said that she supports the Haitian government move to change the UN-backed mission to a UN mission. So Kenya, on one side, says that we need supplies. And that is something that Russia and China have been saying, that give the MSS the supplies they need, make sure the countries are committed to fully pledge for the MSS, give the MSS time to deliver, and then we see what will happen later. But the US is saying, no, we need a UN peacekeeping mission right now. So Kenya is saying that, you know what, we need those supplies right now. Then we also need perhaps to change this mission to a UN mission perhaps later on, but we need the supplies first. We need the supplies right now because our troops are on the ground. We don't want politics in between here. Give us the supplies first so that we can be able to defend not only ourselves, but defend the people of Haiti that are suffering from these gangs. The Haitian representative that gave his speech regarding this matter was Dr. Bill Pep, a Haitian medic in New York that went to that summit. And he said that he has a message to the Security Council that the Haitian police and the multinational force are outgunned and outnumbered. That was a very heavy line from Dr. Bill Pep, a Haitian medic representing his country at the UNSC. He said that the multinational force and the police force in Haiti are outgunned and outnumbered. He further went on and said that he understands the controversies around the UN deployment in Haiti because the last deployment of the UN to Haiti led to cholera, led to allegations of sexual abuse, and all the negative things that could have been thought that the UN could have done for Haiti. So he's saying that he understands the controversies that happened in Haiti, but he says that he trusts that seeking their support to restore security in his country is not asking too much, that it is a difficult task for any Haitian to request foreign troops on their soil, but there is no alternative. Those are the words of Dr. Bill Pep. He says that there is no alternative right now because right now the police and the MSS are outgunned, meaning the gangs have the strong side. They have the say right now because the law enforcement is outgunned and outnumbered. And that is a very, very heavy communication from Dr. Bill Pep saying that there is no alternative. And I did a video just a few days ago explaining that if there will be no any other cavalry coming for Haiti, Haiti will have to negotiate with the gangs to stop all this suffering that the civilians are going through in Haiti. You can check the link in the comment section. I talked about the fact that Haiti may not get the support that it needs from the UN. It might not get the support that it needs from the MSS because as we are seeing right now, the US will go into another administration and we don't know what Trump would do with this mission in Haiti. We don't know if he will continue with this mission, which will be better. But if he chooses not to continue with this mission, then Kenya will have to pull out from Haiti. And that will mean that Haiti will now be left vulnerable to the gangs. Right now, they are struggling. They have 430 MSS officers in the country, and Haiti is still struggling. More territory is being taken by the gangs. Right now, we are talking about 85% of Port-au-Prince belonging to the gangs. We were just saying 80 just a few days ago, 85 right now. That means the gangs are advancing. The airport is closed. And everywhere we are reading and hearing about bad news coming from Haiti, from gang violence. So if the UN is not going to assent, Dr. Bill Pep is right to say that there is no alternative. There is only one, and that will be negotiating with gangs. But that is a situation that Haiti should not go to because if they negotiate with gangs, that means these gangs are going to be even more powerful than they are right now. They're going to have say in government. They're going to have say in what will happen in Haiti. I don't think they're going to lay down their arms because Babaki said plain blank that he is not going to lay down his arms. He doesn't see the need of laying down his arms, and that is, I believe, the position of all gang members in Haiti. So that is the situation because if Russia and China will not assent to this resolution to have a UN peacekeeping mission in Haiti, chances are that all these options will slim down into either the MSS works or that the Haitian government will invite these gangs to a table so that they can forge the future of Haiti forward to ease the suffering that Haitian civilians are going through.